But we want to know the nuts and bolts of this comprehensive plan that you announced yesterday. Thanks for coming in.
Good morning.
So let's get through it as fast as we can, Mr. Mayor, if you don't mind. Throwing some cash at the problem, which I think is a pretty darn good idea because it gets results.
Yeah, I mean, we've done rewards before, and we have had some folks step up from time to time. One of the most recent homicides pretty much was only solved because of the reward money.
Chestnut Street?
Young Temple student.
Right.
Yesterday's announcement was about a comprehensive series of initiatives that are part of a larger strategy about fighting crime here in Philadelphia. It involves multiple partners, and so I mean, it takes some time to put a bunch of those pieces together, and some involve technology, but a lot also involve the community.
Well, let's talk. Can we talk about the cash situation? So it's $20,000. Sure. What do I have to do to get the $20,000?
Give us information that leads to the arrest and conviction.
And conviction.
So
that may take some time.
Well, you got to find the person, you go through the process, et cetera, and if at the end your information led to both the arrest and conviction of the individual involved, then you can get up to $20,000.
And that would be completely anonymous, right? Because if you're going to rat on your neighbor, and it's going to take a while before my neighbor is convicted, you know, obviously I don't want that person knowing that I went to you guys.
Well, we don't necessarily use that term. I would say that that's being a good citizen.
But that's what it is. I mean, I shouldn't use that because that's just the reality of the situation. I'm thinking I'm going to tell them a neighbor.
Well, neighbor, whatever. I mean, somebody commits murder. I don't think that's a good neighbor.
Right. But if they're living next to me, because this is the reality of the situation, if somebody's living next to me and I want them out of my neighborhood, I'm willing to do it. I probably need the $20,000, but I want to make sure I'm going to stay alive.
We had somebody targeted the other day.
I mean, again, everyone has a role to play here. Good citizenship and making sure this city is safe is not just the job for the Philadelphia Police Department. There are more of us good people in this city than there are criminals. And
I think so.
If people want
a
safe environment, then giving us that information gets that criminal off the streets. We're also offering $500 for information that leads to the recovery of an illegal weapon here in the city of Philadelphia as well. But again, that's a part of a larger strategy. We're utilizing technology. You can send video and photos right now if you have information about crime in the city to tips@phillypolice.com. In about a month or so, in end of March, you'll also be able to use your cell phone, smartphone, whatever you have, for a text tip line. And that is anonymous also. But we're also putting boots on the ground. You know that we have 120 cadets in the police academy right now. Some will be out in March, and the rest will be out right before the summer. We're going to put another class in of up to 100 police officers sometime this spring.
That's fantastic.
But I also authorized use of overtime funds to put more officers on the street right now, the officers who are already on the police
Where
force.
do we get the money for the extra police officers?
We have overtime in the police department's budget, which they obviously have to manage and manage well because of our economic situation. But we have had a very bad start to the month, and you have to push back very, very hard in that regard.
Real quickly, we've had a bunch of texts here in Facebook. Just to go back to the money situation. I know this is probably...
But that's what people are asking about this morning.
They're asking about this.
I mean, it's very straightforward.
This guy says that he knows where some illegal guns are. So how fast...
Get us that information.
Yeah, how fast could he get the money?
Well, first he needs to get us the information, then we need to check it out and go through a legitimate process.
He also wants to know if there is a limit to the number of guns he can turn in.
No.
So just keep them
Those are illegal weapons. I mean, I'm not talking about grandpa's shotgun from 1816.
You know what it is when we have that. A lot of the different lawmakers have these gun buyback programs.
This is not a buyback.
But this is what I'm saying. That, somebody mentioned that in one afternoon they can get 200, 300 guns. So we know that there are so many illegal guns. So when you announced that you would give $500 per weapon, I was amazed at how many people are saying, "Oh, I know somebody that has 6. Oh, I know somebody has 12."
Well,
I'm thinking,
information.
So they're thinking, and
if you want a safe city, give us information so that we can do our job.
They're thinking $500 a gun, and in a week they're going to get that money.
I also like what you've done. Money set aside for witness protection. If somebody needs that, that is great. And it seems to be that the cameras are working. Is there any way we can get more cameras around?
Well, that was a part of the proposal yesterday. So we have a program that we primarily use in commercial corridors across the city, encourage business owners to put up outdoor video surveillance cameras. We're going to extend that program for businesses across the city and residential property owners. We need to, we're developing the guidelines in terms of the type of equipment that we want, and then we want you to participate in our SafeCam program. That's more eyes on the street, more video and availability. But the real bottom line of all of this is about behavior. It's about bad decisions, bad behavior. Stop shooting each other. I've raised these issues time and time and time again. I saw the piece that was up earlier. There is a disproportionate negative impact in the African American community. So, I mean, I heard the gentleman, but, I mean, he must have missed the 8 million times that I've talked about this. There are things going on, clearly, that tremendously impact African American males here in the city of Philadelphia.
Do you buy the argument that if it was in another community, or if there were, you know, if it wasn't so, you know, such, you know, black on black crime, that it would be an outrage, that it would be a bigger deal?
I've said that myself. This is an issue not just affecting Philadelphia. If you look at, and we published, the top 25 cities in the United States of America, almost every one of them has homicide rates affecting African-American males at 40, 50, 60, in some cities 70 and 80%. We're one of them. Ours is at 73%. This is a national issue. It's about illegal weapons. It's about issues going on that are particular and pertinent in African-American communities all across the United States of America. And I've raised this issue at the national level.
No question about it. I don't think their comments they were directed at you. They were directed at what you're saying is the whole community sometimes goes, well, I don't have to worry about it because it's blacks killing other black people.
No, everyone needs to worry about it.
We all
when you have that kind of gunfire activity going on, the lady who was minding her business laying in her bedroom was hit by a bullet stray in the street. We've had kids caught in the crossfire. So it affects everyone in this city. It is ripping apart the social fabric of the city of Philadelphia, and we're pushing back very, very hard. We're not messing around. We need the community to give us information. I put a bounty on the heads of criminals in this city yesterday, and I am hopeful, and I do believe that many, many Philadelphians will respond, whether it's out of being a good citizen or to respond to the reward money. We need to make sure that we utilize the laws that we have available to us. It is illegal in this city, in the Pennsylvania statutes. Title 18 is the Criminal Code, Section 6106 and 6108. It is illegal to walk the streets or have on your person or be on public property with an illegal, unlicensed gun.
Of course.
That should get you 2.5 to 5 years in jail.
You mentioned
I appreciate the district attorney and his comments and his commitment to seeking prison sentences for people who are out here with illegal guns. We need to use the laws that we have available to us.
And really quickly, you mentioned laws, and I know we're almost out of time. I made a comment yesterday when Councilman Kinney was here, and I had no idea I would get such a response from it, so I figured I'd ask you the same thing. We were doing a story, Shawnette Wilson did a story a couple of days ago. We were doing this, you know, getting results, trying to help people in the different neighborhoods. And I think it was some families out in Germantown, and they called her out to their neighborhood, and it was a lot, and it was just so, you know, full of trash and what have you. And they finally were able to get something done.
This is the piece I was on yesterday.
Yes. So my question to Councilman Kinney was...
I think we were cleaning that up
yesterday. So my question was, when you pull back and you look at this kind of stuff, and you know when you drive through some of these areas, this is what it looks like. And my question is, I know it may seem like a far stretch for murders or what have you, but my thing is there a preventative side to this? Because if you're living in that and you're stepping over trash, I feel like it sows, I'm not trying to get all deep, but it sows the seed into who you think you are and what you're worth. If I'm stepping over trash every day, or another story she did a couple of days ago where the kids were watching raccoons eat their walls and their moms calling the city, and they're thinking, well, nobody's coming to help me out. I just feel like if you think you're trash, then that has to be a trickle effect. You know,
trash
that's not
and filth and garbage. You know, litter is a mindset. And when people think that no one really cares in a community, you see that kind of activity.
But can't that be enforced? Like, can we come in and be like, you know what, no button, that, you know, you throw something on the ground, you got to go.
The property you had on yesterday was already in L&I's system. We have to take people to court to try to get enforcement. They have a certain amount of time to respond. The system maybe does not. It does take long. We have a lot of filthy, nasty people in this city. And your main point is, you know, what goes on in a community says a lot about what people think in that neighborhood. And no one wants to live in that kind of filth which does lead to an environment where people think that they can get away with other stuff, like shooting, robbing, stabbing, et cetera, et cetera. So there is a connection there. And we want communities certainly to step up. We have a responsibility as a city government to partner with neighbors, and that's what Philly Rising is really all about. It is a grassroots effort. It is from the bottom up. That was a disgusting situation out there, and I'm glad that we were able to clean it up. And I appreciate the neighbors calling and staying on it.
That always helps, too. And there's the other issue is, real quickly here, does the hopelessness lead to the littering, or does the littering lead to the hopelessness? You know, so that's a whole deeper discussion.
I think the thought was just, the nuisance stuff. Like, if we can start there.
It is about the smaller things that then escalate into larger things, and that's about changing the environment, but it's about changing the mindset of people here in the city. Stop throwing your trash on the streets. Stop fighting with each other in the community. Stop using these guns for obviously deadly purposes to resolve your issues and your disputes.
We got to go.
We could talk for hours.
Appreciate it.
It's a serious issue.
All right, we'll start a new hour now.